Good afternoon, YouTube. What's going on, brothers? I said I was gonna stop just turning on this camera and just start talking when I have my drives. Okay, I'm just leaving Chicago and I'm headed to Texas. So I get the chance to get out of the city. I love that, love that, love that. All right, I decided I wanted to tell you guys that about the times. It's basically a story time, but it's basically to tie in the fact that, you know, black men have been Mgtow before Mgtow had a name. We just didn't call it Mgtow. We was more, you know, bachelors. But I just want to show you some things in this story on how I was doing Mgtow type things without even really knowing it, just doing common sense stuff, really. You know, when stuff wasn't going my way, I just did common sense stuff, but I want to tie it in with a story that I think is funny, is sexy, it's crazy, it's all of it wrapped up into one. So I think y'all will enjoy this story. So it starts off like this. I was going through a divorce. So my ex-wife, my second ex-wife, I was married twice. So my second ex-wife, Cook County Sheriff. So I'm gonna get into that story at another time because it's a nice juicy story too. But this is basically the girl that I met right as I was getting a divorce. So me and my wife separated for a year or so, something like that. And so this was the first girl that I really connected with. But when I say girl, I gotta do air quotes because technically she was a boy because she was a dyke. But, you know, normally I wouldn't have paid no attention to her. But the way it went was I was selling merchandise out of my van. I had one of those white cargo vans, and I was selling like t-shirts, coats, gloves, scarves, skull caps, thermal socks, things like this. I was doing this as a way to prepare to open up my little store. So I just put all these things in my cargo van, and I just would hit the barber shops, the nail shops, I would hit the salons, I would hit all of the places that people like to go eat, like a McDonald's or Harold's Chicken or something like that, or Uncle Remus Chicken. And I would just sit outside and people would come out and buy stuff from my van. So this was just a way for me to meet the customers face to face, interact with them, get them to like me. And then when I got my store, I was going to be able to make my rounds to all these places and have these people come to my store. And that's exactly what I did. But in the meantime, while I'm building up my cash flow in order to open this store, I picked a particular corner that my buddy, that was a barber, used to cut my hair. His father had a shop on a particular corner, and he let me set up in the parking lot. And down the street from this barber shop, where I used to set my van up on the parking lot, it was an alternative high school on one side, and on the other side was like an extension of a college. I'm not gonna tell you which college it is because then that'll give it away. So at the college, you know, you had a lot of people going for different little reasons. Some of them going GED, some of them was going for, who knows, basket weaving, who knows what the hell they was going for, but whatever. And it was a group of girls that used to walk past my little makeshift stand. I had a little plastic table out there with my stuff on, my wares on the table. So they just walked past my table, and it was like a group of 5. So I was like, God dog, you know how we think as men. I'm like, okay, I would bone that one, I would have sex with that one, I would have sex with that one. The other 2, they look too manly, they butch, so I ain't gonna bother them. So the cutest one out of the group was the one that I'll be like saying something to, like, hey, what up, cutie? How you doing? Hope you have a great day, blah, blah, blah. So it seemed like she started feeling me. You know, she seen me out there getting a little money. You know, every time they would walk by, they going to the store, or they had a break at the school, they walk past my place going to the restaurant. So they would see customers spending money with me, say like, okay, this older guy got a little bread, because the little cutie pie couldn't have been no more than like 20, 21, somewhere in there. So I'm saying, okay, one day I'm gonna like really put the Mac down and I'm gonna get her, you know. So before this could happen, lo and behold, of course, I wasn't the only one paying her no attention. So somebody else ran in her raw and knocked her up. So now she got to drop out of school, and I never got a chance to really lay the smack down on her. You feel me? So I said, well, since Shorty ain't coming around no more, now it's down. It was 5, now it's down to 4. Let me go to the next one that I will bone, right? So this chick happened to be a Haitian chick. Dark skinned, slender, but slender thick. I'm like, okay, cool. She's next at bat, you feel me? So I started coming at her, and I guess she was kind of like upset the fact that I had picked the other shorty over her. So I guess she said, okay, well, man, shorty gone, so let me give him a try. So yeah, I took the chick out. We went to a little eatery spot. I ain't spent much. I was kind of like the Tom Likas school of dating. I spent less than 40 bucks. Then I took her straight from the eatery to a hotel and laid the smack down. I was like, man, she must have been like 21, maybe 22. Man, I had the time of my life in there. But once we got done and we were just sitting there, you know, on the bed, just kind of pillow talking, and she asked me about the shorty. So me not knowing, see, this is when I didn't know how to like say and keep my mouth closed and say the right thing. So I said, yeah, I was that shorty. So she got mad, wanted me to take her home. So I'm like, well, hey, no harm, no foul. I got the sex already, so I took her home. I don't know what happened to the girl. She never came back to school. So now the 2 that I wanted, gone. Now it's down to the 3. 2 of them was butch, and the other girl, she was kind of on the chunky side, so I ain't really like her. And the 2 butch chicks, dykes, I ain't think nothing of them. So I'm just motoring along, just steady selling my stuff, setting up every day, selling my stuff, setting up every day. Then all of a sudden, one day I said, okay, let me close down the stand for a minute and let me run around here and get me something to eat. So I would close the stand down, jump in the van, and go get me something to eat. So as I was going to get something to eat, I drove past the little alternative college. And what do I see? I see one of the butch chicks in a leotard, an all-white leotard. Guys, it's like time stopped. I swear to God, it was like it went in slow motion. I could not believe my damn eyes. I was like, what the hell? This girl got mega body up under all that butch clothes. I'm like, golly. I mean, everything is in proportion. Keep in mind, she was a little on the taller side. She was like 5'9.5", 5'10". Stallion. You hear me? I mean, stallion. Legs, hips, butt, no stomach. I mean, she completely flat. Washboard. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Nice sized chest. And I'm thinking, what the hell? So after I saw that, she didn't see me because I was just driving by. So I went and got my food, and I mean, I just could not get this image out of my mind. I said, I gotta have this girl at all costs. Now, keep in mind, I had forgot all about she was a butch. She wear a low haircut, a low fade, a low bald head, and she would dye it. Sometimes she would dye it like red or mahogany or whatever, and blonde. But blonde was the best. I liked the blonde on her. It just kind of matched a little bit better. So, needless to say, y'all know where this is going. When I saw her walk past the stand, in her butch clothes. I start speaking to her, right? She looking around like, you speaking to me? I'm like, yeah, I'm speaking to you. What's up? And she like, start laughing, right? Like, don't you see I'm a boy? And I didn't say nothing, right? When she said, don't you see I'm a boy? I didn't say that. I just kind of smiled to myself, right? And she just went on about her business. So every day she would walk past her and the other butch chick and the heavy set girl. So I just kept talking to her. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Next day, hey, how you doing? Next day, how you doing today? Is class going all right? And she just like, would just start ignoring me. This must have went on about, man, this might have went on about 2-3 months. Now keep in mind, I wouldn't see her all the time because sometimes I would set up a little late because I had to run and go buy all my my merchandise from the wholesalers. So a lot of times I would set up late, so I would miss them a lot. So in between these few months or whatever, it wasn't like I was seeing her every day. You know, it's one of those type of situations. So I just kept, when I did see her, I would just keep speaking, keep speaking. Next thing you know, like 4 months had went by, and she still wasn't giving me no action. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. I guess the red pill gods must have said, okay, we're gonna send you a sign, because it's like all of a sudden an idea just popped in my mind out of nowhere, and I said, the next time she come to this, next time she walk past this booth, I'm gonna cuss her motherfucking ass out, and let's see if I get a response that way. So I couldn't wait, right? I don't know. Like I said, the red pill gods must have threw this idea in my mind, because this normally this is not the way I behave, you know, back then. So you gotta keep in mind, this might have been 20 years ago now, or less. Might have been, yeah, 15 to 20 years ago. So the day came, I saw it coming, right? So I said, okay, I got to figure out a good way to set it up. So I said, I'm gonna speak to her, and then if she don't say nothing, I'm gonna use that as the justification of me cussing her out. I'm gonna call her every name in the book, right? So I saw her coming, right? Now, by this time, one of my guys came and he was helping me at the stand. So me and him both working the stand. So at this time, he was working the stand, standing there with a customer, and I was sitting in the truck just playing around on my phone. So I saw her coming, right? So I just opened up the side door and was sitting there. So when she walked by, he said something to them to kind of make them stop. So I said, hey, how you doing, right? And she basically didn't say nothing. Man, I went off. I called her every B, every H, how ugly she was. Don't nobody want to. I was just being nice. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you better not even walk on this side of the street no more, because I'm liable to just kick your so-and-so butt. And she just was like, at first she tried to jump back because she thinking she could fight. But you know, when I jumped down out of the truck and came from around the table, and I was like, what you say? What you gonna do? Then she got scared. she kind of took like 5-6 steps, like trying to run. But it shook her up enough that she was just like, whoa. So after that, they wouldn't even cross. They wouldn't even cross on our side of the street. They would be on the other side. Like they'd never been on that other side of the street. Now all of a sudden, every morning that I do catch her, she on that side of the street. They won't even come on this side no more. So that went on for about maybe another month and a half. And then finally one day, they walked on our side of the table. I mean, on our side of the street. And so I jumped down out the van. I said, hey, who, me? Now all of a sudden she's speaking. Who, me? Yeah, you. I need a minute of your time. And she like, yes, with a like crazy look on her face. And I'm like, I just want to apologize for the way I acted the last time he was at the table. I was just, you know, I was going through some things. I was having a rough time. You know, I'm going through a divorce, and I just kind of took it out on you, and that wasn't right, you know. And she was like, yes, that wasn't right. I haven't did anything to you. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I was trying to get to know you, and you know, and I was just frustrated that day, and you know, you hadn't really been giving me, you know, no attention. So I just lost it, and I really apologized. And she was like, yeah, I was wondering, because I was wondering what I had did to you. I thought you wanted to kill me. I'm like, no, I wouldn't dare do that. I'm one of the good guys. I said, would you give me the opportunity to make it up to you? And she say, what you mean by that? I'm like, you know, let me take you out to dinner or something. Let's take you out to get something to eat, or a movie or something. And then she was like, okay. And then she gave me her number. She said, now when you call me this evening, I want to have a heart-to-heart with you. I said, okay, fine. So she gives me the phone number. Hey, my buddy that was sitting at the buddy that was there helping me, he was looking at me like, man, how the hell did you get this girl's number? You know, after what you said to her and all the stuff you call her, I just can't believe that you got her number. I'm like, hey man, you know, it is what it is, right? So later on that night, I call her. She tells me that she's willing to give me some play, but I got to agree to be her side dude. Are y'all hearing me right? The woman wanted me to be her side dude. Now keep in mind, she only 23, right? At the time, I might have been what, 40, 41? Something like that. Yeah, 40, yeah, like 39, something like that, 39, 40. I want to say 39. No, I might have been younger than that. I might have been like 38, some shit, 38. She was like, yeah, 23. So, she said, well, you know, the guys are older. Now, check this out, guys. The guy was 76 years old, and he was married. His wife was 80. Right? And so I got to be the side dude to damn near 80-year-old man. So, you know what I told her? Shit, okay, fine, whatever. You know what I mean? I'll do it. Cool, no problem. So she's like, all right, cool. So I went to go pick her up. Well, no, before I picked her up that day before, I think I was supposed to pick her up on a Saturday. So that Friday, she called me and said, do I want her to dress like a girl or a boy? Are you hearing me? She called and asked me, let me repeat that. She called and asked me, do I want her to dress like a boy or a girl? So y'all know what I said, right? I was like, hey, you know, but I played it off. I was like, I know what you look like when you dress like a boy. I've never seen you dress like a girl, even though I have, but I said I didn't. So dress like a girl so I can see what you look like as a girl. She said, all right, cool. So then the day of, which was that Saturday, she called me like maybe 3-4 hours before I got ready to close down my stand. And she told me, now listen to this, fellas. I just want you to know you ain't getting no pussy tonight. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, whoa, that came out of left field. Shit. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, what do I say? What do I say? Keep in mind, I'm still kind of purple pill at the time. And I'm thinking, okay. I say, what you mean I ain't getting no pussy? Of course I'm getting some pussy. What you mean? You done kept me waiting all this damn time, over 6 months? Hell yeah, you gonna give me some. What you talking about? Then she was like, see, I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that. How you know what I was gonna say? Well, the reason why I can't get you none is because I'm on my period. I'm like, shit, that ain't gonna stop no show. I'll put a couple old towels down and we gonna get this in. You ain't getting away. I've been waiting 6 months. Blood or no blood, it's going down. And then she was like, okay, it's up to you. And I'm like, all right, cool. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, she lying. She just telling me that. She just telling me that. That's all I kept thinking, right? Because they lie so damn much. So we go out to the movies, had a good time. Oh man, let me tell you about how she was dressed when I pulled up. Dude, she come out of the house. She come out of the house with a little tight, like one of the form-fitting blouses and some white leggings. Dude. Lord have mercy. She got a little lipstick on, she got earrings on, she got a fresh bald head with a dye, got just a hint of makeup. Dude, slugging. I'm talking about this heifer was slugging. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I'm finna, hey, all I think about, I can't wait till the end of the night, but I'm finna be digging her out. So we went and had a good time at the movies. Everybody every dude at the, everybody at the movies, man, was checking her out when I walked in with her. Saw the movie, went and had a little something to eat, went back to my place. I'm all over her, right? So I get her out them clothes. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed and I'm taking her clothes off. She's standing up, right? Because I want to see. And she's like, you want to turn the light out? No, I don't want to turn the light out. She's like, all right. And sure enough, I could see the little tampon string hanging. I'm like, oh shit, she wasn't lying, okay. So I said, hey, go in the bathroom, take care of that, and come on back. Man, she came on back and stood in front of me, and I spent her around. Keep in mind, I got all my clothes on, my shoes, everything. Still got my jacket on. And I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, right? Where the two corners meet at 45 degrees. I'm sitting right there and I'm just spinning her around and she butt naked. And I'm just like, Lord, thank you. Thank you. Red Pill guys, I owe y'all one. So I get in the bed, put them towels down, and dude, it literally was like a crime scene in that room. Blood, look, I had blood all on my back, blood all on the back of my neck. I had it I had it all in the crack of my butt. I had it, hey, on the floor. It was all on the headboard, on the pillowcases. It was like a murderer. I had murdered her in there. She like, what the hell? Blood was all on her chest. It was literally a murdering in there. I said, well, yeah, I imprinted the hell out of her. I said, she ain't going nowhere. I can tell. So I went on and convinced her to spend the night, because keep in mind, I stayed an hour from her. So I convinced her to spend the night. Woke up in the morning, murdered it again. I said, well, forget it. It's blood everywhere now. I might as well just let it dry, and tomorrow I'll get it up. Had to throw away them sheets, pillowcases, everything, right? After that, now she wants to dress like a girl. So now my buddy don't know that I done put a murder on this girl, right? So the next time she passes by the stand, keep in mind, she dressed like a girl. Ain't no more boy, ain't no more dyke. She dressed like a straight up girl, right? So she walked past the stand and my guy see her, he like, what the hell? I'm like, then he looks at me, he say, I said, now you see why I was at her, right? He was like, dude, oh my God, did she got any friends? I was like, no. So now that we are officially, quote unquote, I'm her side dude, right? Every weekend I'm smashing. You know, I'm smashed every weekend. Then she tells me, hey, I want to ask you a question. I'm like, okay, sure, what's the question? I don't want you to think I'm weird or anything. Like, nah, I ain't gonna think that. You know, I'm already dealing with a boy. What weirder can it get? She was like, I'm really into anal sex. I'm like, oh, really? She's like, yeah. So, you know, I was just trying to see if I'm gonna keep you around now I see, you know, I'm gonna keep you around. You know, I'm gonna need you to take care of that for me. I'm like, take care of that for you? Like what you mean? You know, like an idiot. I'm like, what you mean? Like, you know, I'm gonna need that anal sex at least a couple times a week. I'm like, shit, say less. You know what I'm saying? Say less. I'm with it. So, dude, literally every other day, I'm knocking the lining out of that back door, dude. You hear me? It got to the point where 3 times a week I was hitting that back. I'm like, Lord have mercy, this girl. Hey, to this day, freakiest girl I've ever had. Okay? Now, I wasn't even into really doing that, but I was like, I done got myself in a situation here. I can't punk out now. You know, I can't go blue pill on her ass now. I gotta stay red. So, you know, I'm in between purple and red, so I said, I gotta go red, so of course. So I'm just going with the flow, right? So now, we both enjoying it, and now it's just a regular routine of our sex life, right? So head was never a question. She basically eat a penis up, literally eat a penis up, dude. I mean, it was some days I would get 3-4 blowjobs in a day. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I mean, I didn't even have a chance to really be with nobody else because this heifer was draining me every time I got with her, even though it was an open relationship, quote unquote, where I could get somebody else. So it was people hearing that, but could nobody match skills with her. So now this is where it comes into the twist, okay? Eventually it got so good between me and her, she wasn't really trying to see the old man no more. So one day she calls me and tells me, all right, come get me. I'm on my way to go get her. I had to park like a block away from the house and she could walk down to where I was at because the old man lived like around the corner and down the street from her. So he'd be looking out his window and all kind of stuff. So this one particular day, I guess he must have felt suspicious or something. So he parked down the street from our house. Sure enough, I pull up where I normally would pull up, about a block away, half a block away. She come walking down and get in the car, and as soon as she got in the car, the old man pulled up on the side of the car. Had been telling her dumb ass the whole time. Then he like, yeah, I knew it. He drove off, right? I was like, shit, I'm glad he drove off because I didn't want to hurt that old man. So, you know, she figured like, well, hell, he saw me now, so, you know, you sus. Doing it, let's just keep going where we were going. So we went on, did what we did. Now the old man, he called himself, you know, quit, don't want to be bothered no more. Now keep in mind, he was paying all her bills because she didn't work. So now, he snatched back the finances, the visions. And she know I'm not the type that's gonna pay for no chick. So she just like, well, I'm gonna have to get a job. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get a job. So she went and got a job. You know, wasn't paying too much, you know what I mean? Because keep in mind, she had with a GED. But it wasn't paying that much, but it was enough so she could not be asking me for anything. So now she worked that job for a while, and then it didn't work out. Got another job, worked that job, or whatever. Then I guess she got to the point where she was so used to the fact that a man just give her money and she didn't have to work and she could just do what she wanted to do. Now all of a sudden she want to try to apply that pressure to me. Keep in mind, I was supposed to only be the side dude. Now she wants to move me up to the main dude. But by this time I done got off the corner. I got my store. You know, I went and bought me a nice little sedan DeVille. You know, I bought me a new van. You know, I got a new apartment now. I'm officially divorced, and all this time we were together back and forth like 4 years. So by this time I got my divorce, which was great. I moved from an hour away to 20 minutes away, better apartment. I got my store. My store is doing great. got a new whip, and I got a new cargo van. So she like, oh man, I'm balling out of control now. So old man didn't push. He didn't kick her to the curb. So now she want to make me the main dude, right? So she like, one day she opened my crib and she gonna say, don't you wanna let me move in with you? I'm like, what? Excuse me, what? And she like, don't you wanna let me move in with you? I'm like, why would I want that? She's like, because now keep in mind, she's sitting there in just her panties. And she gets up to go in the bathroom. And what she's standing there in the doorway, right there at the threshold of the doorway, and as she's saying this, and I'm laying in the bed, and she's like, and she had her ass facing toward me, and she like turned around a little bit, and she points her ass, wouldn't you want all this? She said, wouldn't you want all this to be waiting on you when you come home every day? I have meals cooked, the house to be clean, clothes to be washed, da-da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, I would like that. I said, but knowing you and knowing me, if we was around each other that much, eventually we gonna end up getting into a fight, and I'll probably have to kill you up in here. And then she was like, no, that wouldn't happen, that wouldn't happen. I'm like, yeah, it would, because then we'll be too familiar with each other. So I'm like, nah, I think we need to keep the same arrangement we had. You stay in your place, I stay in my place. So that she kind of like walked out the room. But of course that wasn't gonna be the end of it, but it was the end for right then. So of course a few nights later, we in the room having one of our little episodes, and at this time she's on top. Now keep in mind, the girl ride like she was bit on a mechanical bull, right? I mean, she got it down back. I ain't gonna even lie, fellas. My toes is curled up, my eyes is rolled in the back of my head. She ride like she on a mechanical bull. You hear me? And I'm like, Lord have mercy. So I reached up and started just kissing her lightly on the bottom of her chin, and on her neck and on her breast. And I guess you could tell, since it was so sensual and so seductive the way I was doing it, she could, I guess, kind of sense that I was in a good space until she reached down in my ear and she said, I love you. And this is the first time in 4 years the L word has ever came up. And hey, thank God for the red pill gods. Because I didn't know what to say in that particular moment. But all of a sudden an answer came to my brain. And of course it was the right answer, because I said back in her ear, I know you do. Man, when I said that, she literally jumped off my penis with a dumb look on her face, got an attitude, put her clothes on, which made me in turn get an attitude, put my clothes on, and I decide, okay, I'm gonna take you home. So we're not talking to each other now. You get to the car, right? As soon as she get in the car started up, I must have did 150 miles an hour to her house. I was turning corners. When I turned the corner, hey, we was almost perpendicular to the sidewalk. She slid all the way over to where I'm at. All the stuff in the car slid over. We got in front of our house. I hit the brakes. I slid maybe 100 feet. And it came to a complete stop right in front of her house. And I just hit the lock. Click, click. I didn't say nothing. She jumped. She got out. And before she could even get the door shut pretty good, I drove off doing 150. Kicked dust, rocks, and all kind of leaves all up on her. Up on her. I bet she was like, whoa. And so I guess because I acted in such a manner, before I could even get home good, she was calling to apologize. I'm sorry, I don't know what got into me, and we was having a good time before before that happened? I'm like, yeah, you messed it up, right? And I'm like, give me some time to cool off, and maybe I can accept your apology later. But right now I'm upset, so let's just give ourselves some space. So I took about maybe 4 or 5 days before I called her back, and then when I called her back, she's like, well, I need to have a conversation with you. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Let's have a conversation. So she gets somebody's car. I don't know who car she had. She had somebody's car, one of her girls or whatever. And she comes over to the house. We're sitting down in this person's car, and she tells me that she done met this guy and how wonderful he is. He drives this kind of car, and he has his own place. He likes her, and he asked her to move in. And I'm like, what? In my mind, I'm like, what? But I'm like, okay, I need your red pill gods. So the red pill gods sent me down a whole thought pattern, and I was like, the words just came out of my mouth. It ain't had nothing to do with me. Because I normally wouldn't have said this, but this is what I said. He sounds like a very fine gentleman, you know, and it sounds like he'll really make you happy. So you have my blessings, cool, do your thing. And if you could have just saw the look on her face, it was like bewilderment. She just could not believe I was saying this after 4 years of world-class sex. And that's what I was saying. So she was like, okay, so we gave each other one last hug. And she was like, well, I don't think, you know, he's going to allow me to have no side dudes. So I guess it's going to be the last time we see each other. Like, well, you know what? It's been fun. I've really enjoyed you. I'll never forget you. You know, and I wish you much success in your new life. She was like, yeah, okay, I wish you much success too, blah, blah, blah. So I get out the car, you know. For a few minutes I was sad, because I was like, God, dog, I'm gonna miss this world-class sex. I missed it. 3 weeks of anal, 3 blowjobs a night. I'm just morning blowjobs. I'm just like, God, dog. She would come to the store, take me in the bathroom, and I'd get a blowjob at the bathroom, you know, at the store. It's just like, oh man, I'm gonna miss all that, but you know, hey, this is my beginning to go red pill. So it's like, okay, I can't go back, you know, I gotta go forward. So I went out and found me another little shorty. She was like 19, so I'm busy dealing with her, right? Dealing with her. I got to get into the story about her too, because it's a unique story, but I ain't gonna do it this time. We'll come back to it. So maybe about a month, I get a call from I'm calling her 510. We got a call from 510, thick in the waist, pretty in the face. What you doing? I'm like, I'm at work. What you doing when you get off? Nothing. You feel like hanging out with me? I'm like, you know, absolutely. Of course, you know, hell yeah. So